All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts of the show, and to my right is a man that I pray does not cost us $60 million a year, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I do the show for half that. You know this, Ryan. We've been very good in negotiations.
Yeah, most that's your salary, you jerk.
Yeah.
How we
I've been
doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself? I'm ready to go. We got a special guest. We got a lot of
Do
things to get into.
we do?
And your headline gives hints of where we might steer the show tonight. So lots to cover. I'm excited to get into it
It's true.
on a
Well, as
somber
does yours,
occasion.
but
Yeah. I should have went your route, but we'll get into why I didn't when we get to that part of the show.
yeah. But as for me, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired. Been up since 4 a.m. Got hitting the gym early today and trying to get early morning workouts and working the rest of the day and just you know, again, a little somber day today, of course, and yesterday too. So we'll touch on those later in the show. But before we do that, we just want to remind the people at home where to find us, and that is on social media. You can find us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. And also check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And that includes Apple, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, YouTube after the show, and also on Podbean. And hit that notification bell. Get notified on Twitter. Get notified on YouTube. That way you know when the shows go live. That way you know when show announcements go up. That way you know when clips of the show go up. And I just want to clarify with some. I mentioned in the last show that I was having some trouble uploading to Spotify. That issue has been resolved, so now you can find all of our episodes on Spotify. It was an ID 10T error in that I messed up and forgot to put the show name in the description, and that's why it wouldn't show up on Spotify.
It's all right. It's all right. You got a lot going on. You got a
Well,
lot going on.
you know what an ID 10T error is, right? It spells idiot.
I did not put that together. So I am the ID 10.
That's what we used to call. That's what we used to call like stupid smart solutions that people could resolve themselves. They were called ID 10T errors.
I've dealt with a few of those in my time.
Because the person who was calling was an idiot.
Yeah, I've been the idiot. I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I've also dealt with a lot of people in my day job, which I won't reveal what I do. Somebody called and said, "Hey, there's a problem with your website," and it came down to couldn't get something to print. So I went through a bevy of options, and then the final one was, "Hey, stupid question, but is your printer plugged in?" I did not get a response, but I heard some fumbling around, and then I heard the printer start printing, so I knew my answer.
ID 10. You're welcome for the terminology.
Yeah, that was definitely a case, and I let that person off the phone politely, but I still tell that story to this day, as you just heard, everybody.
And then he screamed, "What a moron!" after you hung up the phone. Anywho, on the podcast side, rate, review, comment, leave a 5-star rating if you can. Please and thank you. Review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Podbean. I think Podbean you can leave a review, and you can leave a review on Good Pods. Also, now that we're back on Spotify, you can leave a comment. And also, this will be replayed tomorrow on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. So since we're going to talk about them tonight, leave your favorite Malcolm-Jamal Warner role and or your favorite Ozzy Osbourne song in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And we are a live show on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Got a little bit late start today, but that's okay. We got a special guest. We were just chopping it up with our special guest. And we're also live on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. for the morning brunch until NFL season starts. And Dustin, I'm feeling a little tired right now, but I know this sound always seems to pick me up.
It's time to get up because it's chime time.
Yes, it is. All right, before we start tonight's No Ticket Required, we're gonna bring in our special guest. But before we bring in our special guest, we have to play the special public service announcement.
The following is a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wize El Jefe.
Our trouble chief is in the house.
I still feel that way too.
We do too. Wize El Jefe is with us. It's been a while since we brought him on, but we brought him on tonight. He wanted to come on for the review, for our movie review. But we want to check in with him and see how he's doing. Wize, how's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great, man. How you guys doing?
We're hanging in. Happy to have you here. I was looking forward to this one because I knew you were going to be on, and you have two wonderful sound bites in the history of our show. One of them, courtesy of Cole Johnson, as you just saw, and then the other one, your movie review from last year. We have the Can't Have Him Locked Up. He's too important to the defense. That plays every week during the football season.
It does. It plays on who we're looking for on defense. So thank you for that clip. And we're hoping for another memorable clip tonight when we review our movie.
Oh man, it's always fun to come on the show and have a good time with you guys, man. So I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and play that bumper for the newest edition of No Ticket Required. And tonight's movie is from 1984. I said 1982 last week, and that was a mistake on my part. 1984, The Natural, starring a list of luminaries. My goodness. Robert Redford, Glenn Close, Barbara Hershey, Kim Basinger. Wow. Let me think who else. Wilford Brimley. Michael Madsen's in this movie for a hot minute. He just recently passed away.
Yeah.
Bunk Bailey.
Bump Bailey. Amongst others, you can find them in the credits. They'll always be Joe Don Baker, always also in the credits. He played Whammer.
Yeah. Robert Duvall, of course.
Oh yeah, Robert Duvall.
Bobby Duvall and of course, Bobby Duvall, one of the greatest actors of our lifetime. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But we're gonna chop it up and talk about this movie. Why we let Wize know ahead of time what we're going to review for the summer, because we had him on last year, as we stated. Dustin stated we had him on for the program, and he said, "Yeah, let me have on for The Natural." Like, all right, cool. Well, we're going to review The Natural with him. So, Wize, what were your impressions of this movie? I mean, first of all, do you remember seeing it in the theaters? Did you watch it on cable TV growing up? Did you watch it on VHS? I mean, just a tape rental growing up. What was your memories of
watching it on VHS growing up and on and HBO growing up? Yeah. Yeah. So, but I love baseball, as you can tell. Yankee Stadium is behind me,
of course.
And to me, this is one of the greatest baseball movies ever made, and it was just an amazing story. So I'm excited. That's why when you showed me the list of movies y'all were doing this summer, I was like, oh, I got to do The Natural.
We're already on 9 movies for next summer, so we got to give you a list of what we're going to do. We're going to do next summer. We're going to try to put it to. We're thinking about putting it to a vote for movie number 10. So,
well, I think we should.
We should. But let's talk about this movie a little bit. The tagline, well, not the tagline, but the synopsis on IMDb says a middle-aged unknown. I have a problem with that. A middle-aged unknown comes seemingly out of nowhere to become a legendary baseball player with almost supernatural talent. I have a bone to pick because 35 is not middle-aged. Maybe in the 1930s it was, but 35 is not. It's not middle-aged. So I'm going to lead off. I'm going to have Wize lead off and tell us about his thoughts about the movie, because Dustin and I, we always have our thoughts about it. We chop it up a little bit. But before we get to it, we got a comment in the comment section from Desi saying, "Hey, y'all. Hey, Desi, how's it going tonight? Thanks for joining us, my lady." But Wize, let's get your thoughts about this movie. I'm sure you had a chance to watch it again recently or this past weekend, or it was just from your memories of watching it as a young man, as a young Wise. Let's get your thoughts about this movie.
Oh, actually, I was watching it today.
Oh, you watched it today? Okay, cool. All right, it's fresh in your mind. Awesome, love
yeah,
it.
no. Yeah, it's always like I said. I'm a big baseball fan, and I can always remember this movie. Like it's sad how it begins and everything with when you see him growing up and his dad showing him to play baseball and all that, and he actually is there when his father passes away, and so all that, right? I kind of forgot all about that, and then when I started rewatching it, it's like, man, like story starts off real sad, and then even when he goes tries out for the Cubs and all that, and the whole situation happens with him being shot and not fulfilling that part, and then later on becoming the legend that he is in the movie. It was just it was amazing to me growing up anyway at that time.
Mm-hmm. What stood out to you? I mean, other than the kind of emotions you go through emotionally, you get the sadness towards the beginning, and during the beginning, and then things start to pick up a little bit during the rest of it. But what are some other thoughts about this movie? What did you think of? Now, I looked up some of the facts about this movie. In this movie, in the beginning, when he goes to take the train to Chicago to play for the Cubs, he's 19. Then we see him get a role in the Knights. He's 35. It's 16 years later.
Yeah.
Robert Redford was 47 years old when this movie was made. Now, I know I'm supposed to suspend disbelief, but I have a really hard time believing a 47-year-old man should be playing a 19-year-old.
He looked the same.
He looked the same at 19 as he did at 35, and then
Howard Stern Private's Partridge.
Yeah,
they parted his hair differently. That's what it was supposed to.
You gotta remember, it's the 80s, and
of course,
it's not like how it is now, where you can do CGI and all that stuff. But of course, it's hard to believe that yes, he played a young teenager at first, and then he still looks the same way when he's 35 years old. So that kind of but. The story itself, but besides the mess up on the age, but it's funny because even after years after the movie played on in a comic strip. It played on a comic strip where a character in the comic strip claimed to be the like 3-time removed nephew of Roy of Hobbs.
Oh wow.
I don't need. I want to say it's Calvin and Hobbes, but I just can't remember what comic strip that used to make it fun. And like, you do know it's a fictional character, right? So.
But it's funny to me, Wise, that you bring up comic book, because in this movie, and it even says it in the description that Ryan read at the beginning of the show. But to me, I have in my notes that Roy Hobbs, he comes off like a superhero, and even the soundtrack evokes superhero. Like I found like motifs of like it's apropos because the movie's out right now. I still want to go see it, but the Superman, I heard parallels between the theme that would play when Hobbs was making Wonder Boy and when he was doing various things throughout the movie, like hitting those towering blasts that shattered lights and things. Some of the music that would play was very superhero to me, Superman feeling. Did you get some of the same vibes when you were watching the movie?
Yeah, when the lightning hit the tree, and you could just see the little ember where he actually picked the piece of wood he picked to build the bat he made, and it was the same. It was a part of the tree that when they highlighted it, it was like just smoking red. And so when he chopped up the tree, he used that part of it and made that amazing bat. It was just it just gave you that feeling like, oh man, this is a special guy.
Yeah.
Indeed. And yeah, Dustin mentioned the music in the movie. The score is incredible. The score is excellent. The score of the movie is excellent. And no, it doesn't have that nostalgic theme. Although, looking back in time, you're coming from, was it the 1920s? Not even the 1920s, like the late 1910s.
Yep.
When Roy Hobbs is a teenager, and then 16 years later, it's 1939. So it was the early 20s. So it was like the mid to early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the incident with Harriet Bird, it goes all the way up to 1939, which is right before the war. So I would have to think that in an alternate universe, like Roy Hobbs continues his career with the Knights, but then the war starts, and you see him get enlisted because we know from baseball history, we know about several Major League Baseball players who went to fight in the U.S. Army or were in the Navy.
Yep.
Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys famously served in World War II. In what capacity, I'm not really sure. Maybe they were just a clerk or something. But I
want to say Ted Williams was a pilot, but I don't know that for sure.
I think it might have been a pilot. You might be right. Let's just take a look here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it tripped me out to see the centennial patches on their uniforms, 1839 to 1939. I was like, oh man, 100 years. It just shows you how old baseball is. And another fact that I read, gentlemen, recently, Josh, why is his name escaping me? He's in Clueless. He never ages. I'm trying to remember. They brought him back for the Nintendo commercial. He's Ant-Man. Why am I?
Paul Rudd?
Yeah, Josh was his character in Clueless. That's why.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Paul Rudd is older than Wilford Brimley was in Cocoon. But if you look at those two gentlemen side by side,
it's crazy.
Wilford Brimley always looking like a wise older gentleman, even in this movie, and it turns out, hey, Paul Rudd now is currently older than Wilford Brimley was in Cocoon.
Nuts.
So that blew my mind.
How old was Wilford Brimley when he did Cocoon?
I'm gonna have to look that up. Cocoon movie. Well, what I'll do, because I can't remember when Cocoon came out. Okay, it came out a year after The Natural. So
1985.
Yep.
So
Wilford
when the movie was
Brimley.
being made, he was in his 50s.
Oh man, I would venture to guess that Wilford Brimley looks older than 50 in this movie. Like he plays the part of a grizzled manager who should have bought a farm, and you believe it. You believe every second of it.
So before Dustin and I really get into it, Wize, I do have one question. You talked about how good this movie is, how you remember it from when you were a young man. You watched it today. Is there anything that kind of sticks out that you're like, what's going on here?
As much as I love Glenn Close, right? It was hard for me to believe that she was also 19 years old.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, geez.
How old was Glenn Close during The Natural? Let's see. She was born in. Doesn't give her age. Hang on.
Oh man.
Come on, IMDb.
She had to be in her 30s.
1947. So she was in her late 30s.
Okay, so
being made
younger than Redford, but still
older than 19.
Old enough.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a suspension of disbelief. You can't get past it. You can't get past it because Redford was 47. Glenn Close was in her late 30s. I mean, Barbara Hershey was true to form, but I don't know. It's weird. But Dustin, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this movie. I know you've got a lot of thoughts. I've got some thoughts as well. But before we do that, actually, Desi has a really nice comment for Wize. He says, "Since he's our guest today, I just want to say that I love what Wize's podcast is all about: personal growth, mindset strategies, and self development." Oh, thanks, Desi.
Thank you, Desi. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, Dustin. Let's dive in. Let's get some of your thoughts about The Natural.
All right. I wish I could say that I had the same childhood memories for this movie that Wise does, but being that I was 1 year old when this movie came out, I don't remember it as much, other than I did see parts of it on TV at my grandma's house, which they used to have HBO. So I'm guessing that is where I saw it as well, on HBO as quite a young man. But I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. So to use a cliche phrase from our movie review series, it was almost like I was watching it with fresh eyes, even though I wasn't, because I forgot a lot of things. I actually forgot. I have in my notes, I forgot he gets shot, ! Because I did. I forgot what happened. But as you were starting to allude to, Ryan, the score is a highlight for this movie for me. So let me start off by saying that score is very good, and it was refreshing after last week hearing that blasted recorder theme in The Rookie. I was very very glad to hear an actual score. So I was thrilled about that. And I like the way the movie starts. Very understated. It's just Redford waiting for a train, and you just get the names in white. And we've been over it, gentlemen. This movie's got a cast. And I thought, and I won't repeat it because I already went into the feelings that the score evoked for me, and I think that was intentional. You want to view Roy Hobbs as a superhero in this movie. He does some things in this movie that defy belief. And but you immediately root for Hobbs based on the way the movie starts. His father passes away. The movie moves very fast to set things up, and I kind of like the way they did it. They didn't do it with dialogue. It was just kind of a quick travel through his childhood there and a few key moments. And but also the Whammer is an a-hole, okay? That makes you root for, and also his man, the reporter played by Duvall, is kind of an a-hole. So that makes you root for Hobbs immediately in the beginning, in the three strikes contest.
I will say, times change, but things never stay the same when it comes to journalists. They're all a-holes.
But I will say, do either of you gentlemen know if the Whammer had to be based on Ruth? The way that he looked and everything, I was like, that's Babe Ruth right there.
I think very loosely based. But Joe Don Baker definitely had that look to him.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's see, Michael Madsen sighting. We talked about that. I did laugh out loud at the "losing is a disease" scene when they had the the must have been a sports psychologist in there trying to motivate the team, and he just kept saying it. And Hobbs gets so disgusted he just walks out. The part that surprised me, I had forgotten so much about this movie. I thought it was going to go in a little bit of a different direction because Bunk Bailey was number 7. Hobbs was number 9. Hobbs seemingly came from nowhere. We're all Yankee fans here. I was like, is Bunk Bailey supposed to be the mantle in this situation? And Hobbs is the Maris who kind of came from nowhere to eclipse Mickey Mantle that one magical summer that my dad talked about back in the day. I mean, I don't know, but then Bunk Bailey dies, everybody. Spoiler, I'm sorry, but I did not expect him to go through a wall and die.
I remembered that he died. I just couldn't remember the manner of which he died. I know it was a baseball related thing.
Yeah.
I thought he got hit in the head by a baseball, but I forgot he went through a wall. He went through the right field wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went through the wall, and I didn't expect him to die. Roy Hobbs is a paragon of virtue. It's a little cheesy sometimes, but you root for him. Of course you root for him. And then I might be I might be reaching too far on this one, gentlemen, but I felt that there was an angel and devil parallel between Kim Basinger and Glenn Close. Glenn Close adorned in white when you see her most of the time when she's grown up in this movie. He's dressed. She rises, and when he's in his slump, because Wilford Brimley warns him. He says, "Hey, my niece is bad news. She brings bad. I love her, but she brings bad luck to anybody that she's with." And as soon as Roy Hobbs starts seeing Miss Basinger, he can't hit anymore. He goes into a huge slump, and then and then Glenn Close.
I'm sorry. I just think of Mickey from Rocky. Women make you weak.
Yeah, but then Glenn Close, she's in white a lot of this movie, and Roy Hobbs, it's almost like he sees her, she stands up, and it's kind of like she's like the angelic presence. I drew that parallel. Angels in the Outfield, for those who aren't watching. Come watch us on YouTube, folks. Watch us live.
Yeah.
But I was with parts of this movie, but I must say I think some people are going to be surprised where it ranked on my list due to a couple of things with the plot going where the judge just wants to he wants to basically get Wilford Brimley out from owning the team, and the team has to lose to do that. So he's hiring gamblers who have bet money, and the dad from Christmas Story, I forget his name because I wrote it down I didn't write it down in my notes. He has a vendetta because Roy Hobbs cost him a lot of money back in the day, and it's just there's all these things kind of surrounding it that, in my opinion, take away from this movie a little bit with the subplots and the length of it. But as Roy Hobbs as a character, I definitely rooted for Roy Hobbs, and they definitely drilled home supernatural power. Nobody seemed concerned when he hit the lights with the home run and sparks are flying down on his teammates. No one got hurt from it. Everything was all right. But it's good to see Roy Hobbs made it out alive. And with that, I pass it to you, Ryan.
So I'm trying to look up the name of the actor. I can't remember his name. It's Gavin.
Oh, from
Gus.
Yep, Gus Sands. It just came to me.
Darren McGavin.
Okay, yep.
He's not listed in the credits at all, though, on IMDb, which is weird.
That's strange.
Very strange. Very strange. All right, so I was doing the background work on IMDb and other websites. Barry Levinson, the director of this movie, he's actually the guy doing he's the play-by-play announcer on the radio.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, because I guess he wanted to go into broadcasting when he was in college, but he got steered towards film. See what other fun facts were there. So I guess the story is very loosely based on the Odyssey, or close to it, some Greek mythology tale about the hero, and you mentioned Dustin with Mimo and Iris. Like, I didn't realize that Iris was her name. I thought it was Maggie.
Oh,
I thought it was Maggie, but it's not Maggie. It's Iris. But yeah, the angel in white, the black, Mimo always wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mimo, I feel bad for Mimo, because she is the definition of what would be called back in the day a flapper girl. Like a little bit rebellious, cut her hair short, like the girls did back in the day when they wanted to try to show their independence, and always got caught in the wrong type of crowd with the wrong type of guys. She was with Bump at the beginning. She's Pop's niece. Mm-hmm. So when she gets involved in the team, she gets involved with Gus and the judge. I don't know what kind of relationship she has with Gus. If it's what I think it is, and gross. But again, this is what it was back in the day. Like, women were starting to get more out there in terms of their sexuality. They're starting to flaunt their sexuality more, trying to present themselves more to men, and they would go on. So, and the route of dating meant that you go somewhere, you would go to dinner, and then you basically have relations. So she was that type of girl, and she was that type of girl throughout the movie. With after Bump dies, gets involved with Roy. But I want to flip back to the beginning, and I read about the Natural, which it was actually based on a book of the same name, and I guess the book was a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more intense with the drama, but the creators of the film wanted to make it more inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, when Harriet, played by Barbara Hershey, shoots Roy, in the book, she was a serial killer.
Oh,
yeah, and she was actually going after the Whammer originally. And then she saw Roy Hobbs strike him out, and she calls him to her room. And that's where we see her dressed in black with the black veil, and she shoots him. And we will later find out she jumps off a ledge after she shoots him because she thinks she offed him. Turns out not to be true. But yeah, I mean, there's some good things and there's some bad things about this movie. Some good things, obviously, the inspirational story. A man who is young man, potential, who's with a lot of potential when he's younger, runs into a wrong thing, and I wouldn't say has an accident, but something bad happens to him. And then he kind of loses his way for a bit. Then he goes back on the path that he thought he was supposed to be on. Eventually winds up in what's considered the major leagues in there, which is interesting because I'm surprised that Major League Baseball, and I'll have to look this up later. Maybe I'll do an addendum on this, but I'm surprised that Major League Baseball let the creators of this film use so many of the team names in this film, like the Philadelphia Phillies, the Pittsburgh Pirates,
the Cubs,
the Chicago Cubs. I'm just very surprised that they let the creators of this film, TriStar Films, which is now, I guess they're associated with MGM. I was very surprised they let them use so many names, but there were some parts in here that you think it was like the montage. It's a sporting. They gotta have a montage. It's not a training montage. It was an in-game montage of all the things that they did that was happening to the team while Roy was sitting on the bench, like the bump Bailey trying to make a play in front of a center fielder. When you know the center fielder is the captain of the outfield, let's get it straight. When he's calling for the ball, you let him get the ball. But Bump doing his thing, which leads to him getting benched, which leads to Roy getting his shot, even though he's just been sitting on the bench doing nothing, and Pop threatens to send him down. But he says, knock the cover off the ball. And you see a bolt of lightning happening. Another strange thing. The bolt of lightning always seems to pop up at a certain time during the film. And he literally knocks the cover off the ball, and they call the game because of rain. And that's when the Knights take the lead. They'd snap their long losing streak. And then towards the end, and just another thing, I know I have to suspend disbelief. But I'm having trouble suspending disbelief in this film. How are you using the same bat from the time you made it when you were 10 years old all the way up to when you're 35 years old? You're using the same bat throughout the entire season when the average major leaguer probably goes through about 15, 20, maybe bats in a season.
Because
it's one
special bat. Oh, it's a magical bat.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's Wonder Boy, Ryan. Tenacious D wrote about it. They wrote about it.
What is the secret of your power? Anyway.
Even Jack Black was wondering.
Yes, it's true. That's true. Okay. All right. I get it. It's magic.
No,
it's a divine bat. It's from above.
It is.
But I'm with you though, and then it breaks in half perfectly during the championship game.
And then and then the kid breaks out the Savoy special.
Yeah.
I don't know if you also noticed that Richard Farnsworth, who plays Red, who's the assistant manager, or I guess you could call him assistant manager, bench coach.
Yeah, bench coach. Yeah,
bench coach as you would during those days. Kind of in the beginning, when Roy comes to New York, acts like a father figure to him. He's asking him questions, getting to know him. Like, I don't know. And they're sitting there eating pasta and in a New York restaurant. He's like, I don't know what this stuff is called. I can't pronounce this stuff, but it's really good.
He says I can't spell it, but it eats pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah.
I love that. I did laugh at that.
It's a great line. It's a great line. But yeah, it just goes through the ups and downs of Roy and his having the dreams of when he gets shot. By the way, also the one other thing that kind of sticks out a little bit when he's at the party and the Knights are this close to clinching the pennant, goes to that party hosted by Gus, and Gus poisons him. Go to the hospital. You come to find out the bullet that he was shot with has been sitting in his abdomen for 16 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Robert De Niro had a bullet taken out of his abdomen in Ronin. It's the same methodology in terms of medical use in that time. So you're telling me you couldn't take out the bullet in 1919?
Roy Hobbs didn't need anybody
or 1926 or whatever, or 1923, excuse me. So I don't know. Maybe again, I gotta suspend this again.
It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood.
I know it's Hollywood. I'm trying to suspend it. I know. It's what's funny is that it's at the beginning when we started this series. I said, I told Dustin, I was bragging. I'm like, I'm having a tough. I have a better time suspending disbelief than you do. Well,
yeah, because I was shredding draft day.
Yeah, we're shredding draft day, and then we're two movies away from wrapping up the series, and I'm going, I can't believe this happened.
Honestly, I've never seen Draft Day, right? But I've seen so many TikToks with clips from that movie.
You might as well have watched the whole movie on TikTok.
Oh man. I will be, tell him I will be in his face within the hour. That's still the most ridiculous. You can't fly from New York to Cleveland in 1 hour.
I want all my picks back.
Yeah.
Frank Langella, who played Skeletor in Masters of the Universe. That's right.
Nice.
But yeah, and at the end of the movie, you see Roy Hobbs come back and he gets the one last swing that winds up in the lights, and the Knights win the pennant, and we don't know what happens to them in the World Series after that.
Yeah.
But he goes back to his farm in whereversville he grew up in, and he goes with his boy that we find out towards the end of the movie that he has this child with Iris who was illegitimate at the time. But we find out it's his, which is sort of strange because we don't know that Iris and Roy got together before he left for Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's implied. Oh, and I just missed it.
Well, listen, she's sneaking out her room.
This is true.
Glenn Close at 19.
To go meet Roy and wherever they're at. It was the farm, whatever field it was. Yeah, she got some that night.
I've heard things. I didn't grow up on a farm, but I've heard you could sneak into the barn.
Farmer's daughter in the barn on the haystack.
Listen. He's throwing rocks at the window. She opens like, Roy. Like she was like, oh yeah. He knew he was getting something.
Well, and he also, because you just brought me back to that scene, Wise. He's like, Can I see you? And she's like, right now? And he's like, yeah.
So, like right now.
You sure can, Roy. All right, we're gonna wrap up this review. And Dustin, what is this rank in your movie rankings thus far?
Oh man, this is where it's tough. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Seabiscuit. Nothing's knocking that off so far, and it's gonna be tough. Number 2, I forgot what I put at my number 2. I think it was Invictus. I put at my number 2. Number 3, just barely edging out, Mystery Alaska, because nostalgia is a powerful thing. Blue Chips, number 4, Mystery Alaska. Number 5, I believe, was Varsity Blues. I will put The Natural at number 6.
Oh, okay.
And then I am putting Draft Day at number 7, and then I'm putting No Holds Barred at number 8. But what movie did I miss, Ryan? I feel like I missed one.
Let's see. We've got Draft Day, Seabiscuit, Mystery Alaska, Blue Chips, No Holds Barred, Invictus, Varsity Blues, The Rookie. You're missing The Rookie.
Oh, The Rookie. Okay. So I gotta revise. So after Varsity Blues, I put The Rookie.
Which movie? What rookie is this?
This is with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Okay, with Dennis Quaid. Okay.
Dennis Quaid. So, okay, after Varsity Blues, I've got The Rookie. Then I've got The Natural. Then, because the movie, it was too long for me and the subplots. But I did buy parts of it. I did enjoy parts of it. So I'm putting it above Draft Day, and any movie forever will go above No Holds Barred. No Holds Barred is finishing last. Go on, Ryan. Do the sign. I'm
not going to do it until I reveal mine.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing I do have to imply. That scene where Iris and Roy are walking in Chicago and they're just walking and talking and Roy's catching her up on life.
Yeah.
The music was too loud. The score was too loud. I couldn't hear a damn thing that Roy was saying.
Maybe
Maybe that was supposed to happen, but maybe I have to read the book.
That's a whole thing in movies overall. As a former sound guy person, the mix in movies, people can't figure it out. I'm looking at you, Christopher Nolan. Jeez.
My goodness. All right, my rankings. Seabiscuit, obviously number 1. Nothing's knocked that off since we watched it back on June 3rd. Wow, was that long ago? Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Then number 2, Mystery Alaska, followed by Invictus. Very close between 2 and 3. Number 4, Blue Chips, followed by Varsity Blues, followed by The Natural.
All right.
Followed by The Rookie, then Draft Day, then No Holds Barred, brother.
You do it perfectly every time. Oh,
Wise, you know what movie we're talking about, right?
Yeah, yes, I saw it in the movie theaters. Actually, I was.
Oh my God!
Nice, nice.
Yes.
I hope you had pleasant memories of No Holds Barred, because you were.
And I was out. Yeah, I was a bit. I still am a big wrestling fan. So yeah, it was at the time where Hulkamania was running wild. I was eating my vitamins, saying my prayers.
That movie was made for you at that time.
Injecting steroids.
It was.
Oh, did I say something? Okay.
But as I got older and I started watching it,
and wiser.
And why?
Oh.
And why? I began to realize, like, damn, this movie really sucked. Tiny Lister was better as Debo.
Oh yeah,
yes!
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
my grandma would give me that chain.
So yeah, and then to kind of involve him into real WWF storyline, because it wasn't WWE, it was WWF at that time.
It'll always be WWF to me. Yeah,
listen, worldwide. What is it?
The World
Wildlife Fund.
Wildlife Foundation kind of just like, nope, can't use that.
Stupid pandas. Fun fact: I actually had a fantasy football team called Pandas with Pistols one year. They did not do well. They did not do well.
I had a T-shirt which was. Oh, and I wish I didn't get wing sauce on it. I couldn't get it out. I had a T-shirt which was a panda bear. The letters, it said WWF for World Wildlife Fund, but
I know what it says.
The panda bear had the chair and was getting ready to hit somebody. I had that shirt. I wish I never. Oh man, I ruined it.
Oh man. Well, next week we're concluding our No Ticket Required series already. We're going to review 2000s Remember the Titans based on a true story, and I'm sure it will be Disney-fied.
That one definitely will move up your list.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, we're saving the best for last, but this has been another
Will
edition.
it be?
Will it be? We'll see. We'll have to see. Let's tune and find out next Tuesday at 6:30. This has been another edition of No Ticket Required. All right, let's take a gander in the comment section before we go to commercial break. Desi saying, recently we celebrated Men's Mental Health Month, and I think it's important that we have these podcasts, like stuck in my mind with Wize El Jefe, that focus on topics related to masculinity and success, like mentality. Our men are important to us. Thank you, Desi. Thank you, Desi.
Desi, you sound like a very smart person, Desi. I really do like what you're saying. So
she is from Alabama, and she's a dang sweetheart. Let's just put it.
Desi, appreciate the love, Desi, man. We were
and her husband's a very lucky man. That's for sure.
Yes, he is.
All right. So she also says up in the hayloft on a rainy night.
There we go.
That's where all the action happens on the farm.
See, so we know how it happened.
Yep.
And Daniel Cruz from Time to BS, and I'm gonna do my best here, not to cry or anything like that. It says time goes by, seems to be you've always been a better friend to me. Mama, I'm coming home. Yep, he gets it.
It's a great one.
He also says, Ryan, you're giving me vibes of most likely to star in a remake of the Christmas movie. Okay, first of all, that is slander because we better not make another Christmas story. I think he meant a Christmas story, but we better not make a remake of a Christmas story because that's what officially Hollywood has officially run out of ideas. We already had a sequel. It's on HBO Max. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's okay.
It's never going to compete with the original.
It will never compete.
Can't.
Oh, and apparently I had to play the old man. I'm going to be playing Darren McGavin's role as the old man. He also says the Christopher Nolan slander will not be tolerated here.
All right.
Listen, it's our show, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Cruz, it's our show.
We can get into it on Seahawks Sessions. I like his movies, Dan, but you got to admit, okay, they had to boost Tom Hardy's voice in the mix for The Dark Knight Rises because nobody could understand what he's saying. And then when they made it loud, here's how he sounds. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. You don't know what's going on.
You merely adopted the podcast. I was born in it. Great, another 3-hour Seahawks Sessions coming your way this week. He also asked, did we take our Flintstone vitamins? To which Desi writes, I got Pebbles. And he says close enough. And Wize, you have an invitation from our friend Mr. Dan Cruz saying you're more than welcome to join the Department of BS for BS Sessions. You'd enjoy it. I have been on BS Sessions with Mr. Cruz. He's I got to talk about my journey in podcasting, talk about my faith a little bit. Yeah,
I have to make my rounds. Yes, so yeah, I would definitely love to be. I guess.
You know what I'll do? I'll introduce you both. I'll get a group chat and Facebook going. I'll introduce you both, and you can chop it up from there.
Awesome.
Make yourself a new friend in in the podcast world and on Facebook. He also, in the last comment before we go to commercial break, after my taste in snacks, I'm willing to have this debate. Of, his taste in snacks, he enjoys some raisins with goldfish. So I don't know about that. I don't know how you feel about that, Wize. At the same time.
Raisins, and you mean goldfish like the
the crackers.
Okay. Hey, listen.
I want it on record. I didn't bring it up this time, Dan. It wasn't me this time.
Dan, I don't knock it.
He's a character. He
likes raisins and goldfish. I can't hate on that. I like them both, but separately, not combined. So, but there's people who have preferences. He just likes them both. That's cool, Dan.
Mhm.
We could discuss this when I'm on your show.
I feel attacked, then again, I deserve it. Yeah, sociopathic behavior always deserves attacking.
Oh, man.
All right, speaking of snacks, let's go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some NFL news and notes. We're also going to talk about, we're going to memorialize a couple of people we lost, a couple of celebrities, music and entertainment world that we lost yesterday. We'll also talk about our favorite athletes to wear number 54. So stick around. Stay tuned for more. No credentials required.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky.
All right, as folks, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky, some of the best jerky you'll ever have, some of the best beef sticks you'll ever have. And Tag Along just entered the room and left. So that's why my lighting is off. But yes, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. I got some for my esteemed co-host after I lost a bet last year. I seem to be losing a lot of bets to Dustin these days. Coming soon, some more bitter coffee for him because he took the Rockies, son of a. Anyway, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the best jerky your money can buy, and you can get yourselves a variety of flavors. In terms of craft jerky, you get your craft jerky. You've got your air dried biltong, which is inspired by African air drying system. You've got turkey jerky, which tastes like a Thanksgiving dinner. But in addition to jerky, you've also got the beef sticks, which is 100% beef. Also the pork pork taco stand ones, which I according to Dustin, tastes like a taco, like a pork taco. And we've also got the which again are 100% beef, 100% pork. Unlike some of those other beef sticks you see in the convenience store, they're primary ingredient is pulverized chicken. Shame, it's a shame. You want to snap into that, you're more than welcome to. But for my money, I'm buying myself some Righteous Felon. But not only do they have human consumption food, they also have dog consumption food. My co-host over here will tell you all about it.
I'm watching him right now. And guess what, everybody? He's going to get a Ranger dog treat tonight. He loves them so much. I said the word. He's probably going to come off the couch if I say his name. But Pickles, he loves them. He loves the treats. Every time I go down the hallway and go into the room where they are, he is right by me because he knows that's what I keep in that closet. He's ready to go. I do make him do a few tricks for the treats, but he loves those treats, and they're all natural ingredients, and they came very fast. I've told the story many times during these ads, and I will continue to tell it. It was the holiday season. I had forgotten to get a gift for him, and I ordered it 2 days before Christmas Eve. We were having our celebration with that side of the family on Christmas Eve, and they arrived the day before. I still had time to wrap them and get them to the celebration at my sister's where he could open them up. And were he not sleeping on the couch right now, he would come in and testify to how much he loves Ranger dog treats.
Yes, that's right. So you can go. What you do is go to righteousfelon.com. You're gonna fill your basket. You're gonna check out, and you're gonna save 15% off your order with promo code BELLYUP at checkout. But that's not all, because if you get $50 worth of stuff, whether it be the jerky, the beef sticks, the dog treats, or other stuff like a t-shirt, if you get $50 in your cart, they will ship it to you for free, and they'll ship it to you fast. So get yourself some good stuff at righteousfelon.com. Promo code BELLYUP at checkout. 15% off your order, plus free shipping for every order over $50 or more. Desi says, come sit in the attack section, Mr. Cruz. The seagull went after me today. It's a remake of Birds.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You got to watch those seagulls. I heard they come in flocks. And what did you do when you saw it? Did you run? I'm sorry, I had to. I'll see
But did you
myself
run?
out.
Did you run so far away?
Yeah.
Gotta get away. And Mr. Cruz promoting his show on our show, saying live show for the Department of BS tonight at 8:30 p.m. Shameless plug by the Master of Chaos. So yeah, 7:30 now. So in an hour he'll go live and check in with his Department of BS. All right, NFL news and notes. Training camps started officially last week. We had a couple of teams already report. The Detroit Lions have already reported for camp, as have the Los Angeles Chargers, because I believe they'll be the two teams meeting in the Hall of Fame game
I
in
believe
about
you
a
are
week
correct.
or two. But every other team, rookies started reporting. I know my New York Jets, the players started reporting for camp, but officially it won't start till tomorrow. But a lot of teams starting to ramp up training camp, which starts tomorrow.
Last week,
Sorry?
sorry. Well, for the Giants, the rookies came in last week. Last Wednesday, the rookies arrived, and now today, veterans arriving.
Yeah, the rookies always arrive before the veteran. Although the Saints and the rookies and the veterans reported today, so it depends on the team.
Yeah.
Depends on the team. But there's some other news that happened during the weekend and into today. Will Levis from the Tennessee Titans. Titans announced that he would be having shoulder surgery that he missed the entire season for. Guys, and you know, I'll start with the Wize. Does this indicate that Mr. Levis's career is definitely over in Tennessee?
Yes. It was over the moment they drafted Cam
Ward.
Yeah, I mean, does this make him tradable or make him a commodity to trade, or is he just going to be let go?
No. He's gonna be a backup somewhere. He'll get a backup role somewhere, or a third string role somewhere, because he has experience playing in the NFL. But he's not gonna be a starter. He had that one great year in college, and he turned it into what it is now. And listen, I had hopes for him, but it just didn't work out, man. Tennessee moved on, and I guess he'll take this season off, and hopefully next year he'll be prepared. And if he's released, he can go find an opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Wise on this one. As soon as I saw surgery for Will Levis, he was on thin ice in Tennessee anyway, because I don't know if you all remember, but last year his own coach tore him up after a game, like pretty much just
Or during the in game.
Oh yeah. They didn't. I don't believe that regime was one that drafted Will Levis. So I mean, I think they had no qualms about talking about how they felt about Will Levis. Feel bad for Will a little bit here. He showed moments, but like you said, just some decisions with the football that did not help him. Props to him for playing through the injury, trying the best he could. But this is the end of Will Levis in Tennessee. He will get an opportunity, as Wise said, because of his experience. And somebody's going to see the flashes. Like one of those deep balls, I can't remember what game it was, but I remember telling you, Ryan, that might have been the deep ball of the year. Somebody will see that and think that they can rebuild him, Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold style. We'll see what happens. But this is it for Will Levis, the Mayo man in Tennessee, putting mayo in his coffee somewhere else. He's going to be doing that.
Yeah, the Titans are a weird organization. They went from Vince Young to Marcus Mariota, and then
Ryan Tannehill, right?
Ryan Tannehill. Then they drafted Malik Willis. Thought he was going to be the next quarterback. Didn't turn out that way. They wound up trading him to Green Bay after they drafted Levis. Levis hasn't turned out to be the quarterback that they thought he was, so they drafted Cam Ward, who, yeah, I mean, if you were Tennessee, you'd draft Cam Ward first overall as well, because he was definitely the consensus. He was among a lot of draft pundits. He was the number one. He was going to be the number one guy at the board. Period. Just based on the fact that he had a great season, couple seasons in Miami after a season at Incarnate Word, and then his numbers were really good in the combine. So yeah, this organization's having some they're on the stroll bus right now, to say the
Well,
least.
yeah, you heard it, Ryan, at the home run derby get together we had. My niece, she likes the Titans. She always has, as long as I've known her, and you know, she said something, and our friend Derek responded, I don't think anybody cares about the Titans. I think they feel bad for them. It was shots fired during that. Oh man.
All right, so another news item. This came straight out of the New Orleans Saints account today, announcing that Tyrann Mathieu has retired from the NFL. And it's interesting that a couple months ago during our Saturday show, we're talking about baseball. All of a sudden, the NFL sneaks in. The New
Yeah.
Orleans Saints had announced the retirement of Derek Carr. Well, this reads from his Instagram account, which I quote. He says, as I hang up my cleats, I'm filled with gratitude as I close this chapter of my life and officially retire from the game that shaped me in every way. From my first snap in college to my final play in the NFL, this journey has been nothing short of a blessing. Football gave me purpose, discipline, and memories that will stay with me forever. But more than anything, it gave me a community. To every coach who believed in me, every teammate who battled beside me, and every friend who showed up, cheered, and rode with me through the highs and lows, thank you. You gave me strength when I needed it most, and your love carried me farther than I ever imagined. I hope I made you proud out there. This isn't goodbye. It's just the next chapter. Much love always, Tyrann. Tyrann, we know, Tyrann Mathieu, we know him as the Honey Badger. That's how he came to be known in the, not in the NFL, but that was his nickname in college when he played at LSU. If I remember correctly, he was on the team that won the national title with Joe Burrow at quarterback in 2019, I want to say.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
Let's do the real-time research.
Real-time research.
Yeah, he was 33 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he played at LSU in 2010, 2011. So this was before Joe Burrow. But he was drafted by the Cardinals. Then he went to the Texans, spent 3 seasons with the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl with them, and went back home to finish his career with the New Orleans Saints, spent 3 years as a member of the New Orleans Saints. Here's his resume. Now, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I think he might be. He could be. But he's a Super Bowl champion, 3-time first-team All-Pro, second-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, part of the NFL 2010s Pro Bowler. Not Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer. If you make an all-decade team of any decade, then yeah, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Was part of the All-Rookie team in 2013. Won the Chuck Bednarik Award, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, was a consensus All-American and a first-team All-SEC at LSU. Here's his final numbers in his NFL career. 838 total tackles, 11 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries, 100 pass defenses or pass deflections, 36 interceptions, and 4 defensive touchdowns. I'm going to think that that's definitely a Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah. I mean, especially, and you're not supposed to do this, but if you count the accolades of his college career and also the fact that he's got titles with the Chiefs, I think he gets in. He gets in for sure.
Yeah. And like I said, anytime a player is on an all-decade team,
yeah,
he's got to be in discussion for Hall of Fame. What do you think, Wize?
Definitely. You anytime you make an all-decade team, that means you are one of the best players to ever play the game. So, and it's crazy, right? Because now you're seeing more and more players retire much younger than in days past. Like they're realizing, like, hey, maybe I don't want to keep playing, and because we all know what's been happening with all these players from our generation.
Yes.
Like we've seen what's happened with all the great ones. But Junior Seau.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the greatest linebackers to ever play the game. Who knows if he would have retired early, would he still be here?
Mm-hmm.
So some of these players are realizing, like, the money just isn't worth the consequences if we continue to play the game that we love. And I get it. This is some people just want a better quality of life, and retiring early is going to give it to them because football is a brutal sport.
Yes.
It's gladiators out there fighting.
Yeah,
Just no death.
It's modern day gladiator, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. But yeah, retired at 33. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got he's got a lot of stats. He had a great resume at LSU. Made his way to the NFL. Had a hell of a career. Won a Super Bowl. Great accolades. Yeah, I think he's gonna wear a gold jacket someday. That's for sure.
Yeah, hats off to the honey badger.
Yeah, hats off to the honey badger. You don't have the honey badge no more, in a sense. All right, we're quickly running out of time, but we want to get to paying tribute here. We had a couple of entertainers pass away over the last couple of days. The first one being Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who tragically died in a drowning accident at the age of 54 in Costa Rica yesterday. And then this afternoon it was announced that Ozzy Osbourne, legendary rocker Ozzy Osbourne, passed away due to complications from Parkinson's disease. He's only 76 years old. But last month he had his last concert in England with a bunch of artists. And what's interesting is that he said he treated that concert like it was his last, like it was his funeral, which is a very interesting thing to say. But let's start with Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And Wize, you and I are of a generation watching Malcolm-Jamal Warner grow up on television as part of the Cosby Show.
Yeah. And then as part of then after the Cosby Show, Malcolm and Eddie with Eddie Griffin.
Yep.
And so and then he did other roles as well. But yeah, she's always going to be Theo Huxtable.
Yeah, same. He was also Shirley's husband on Community.
But he's it's tragedy. Because it's amazing because even though he was a child actor and everything, he even when he was when he was younger, in his 20s and stuff, he actually started directing. Like he started directing music videos and stuff like that. So he was also doing stuff behind the scenes. He didn't just act. He was directing and doing other things behind the scenes. So to see someone go from child actor to actually, and that's one thing about him. He's never had, how we had all the issues with Gary Coleman and Dana Plato and Todd Bridges. You didn't have an issue like that with Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
No.
He wasn't one of those teen stars who got into trouble. Like once as kids, once they grew up as adults, they would get arrested and all these other. He was an from what people were saying, he was a great person that he cared for people and did what he was supposed to do. So it's tragic. It's a tragedy that he was taken so soon, man. Like, and for this to happen while he's on vacation with his wife and daughter, it really is like my heart goes out to the family.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'll always remember him from his role of Theo Huxtable, seeing him growing up as a teenager on television. And one of the things I liked about his role of Theo, is the vulnerability of him having a learning disability. He was on the show. He was dyslexic. Now I don't know if he was dyslexic in real life, but I don't relate to this very often. Maybe it's a moment of vulnerability for myself, but I also grew up with a learning disability. I don't have this dyslexia, but I grew up with central auditory processing disorder. It's very tough, and learning can be especially in the classroom, can be a very tough environment unless it's under the certain conditions. But like as a kid, like when someone says on television, I have a certain learning disability or learning disorder, like you feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
You feel seen. So Theo Huxtable was one of those characters. Yeah, it was it's funny. It was part of the Cosby Show and it was one of my favorite sitcoms growing up. But like looking back at it now as a 47-year-old man, watching the Cosby Show growing up, like those things don't hit you until you realize, oh wow, I forgot how human of a character that Theo Huxtable was, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
Now today, Ozzy Osbourne. We learned about Ozzy Osbourne passing away. As a teenager, I grew up with his music, listening to Black Sabbath, listening to his solo stuff with Randy Rhoads, and then later with Zakk Wylde. Again, one of the lines from my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song is in my tagline: "Never care for the people who hate." It's from "Shot in the Dark," which is my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song. And Dustin, I know you're, and Wize too. You're both music heads, but Dustin, you have a music degree. but well, I always mention that on the show. Dustin's got a music degree. He knows music. But for you, Dustin, like, what stood out to you about Ozzy Osbourne as an artist?
Well, so first, let me go back just a little bit to just say something quick about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Malcolm-Jamal Warner also involved in music. People, including myself, didn't know this until I saw him. I think he was doing voiceover for a documentary or something, and I saw him. He was in a jazz band. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, if memory serves, played upright bass. And to Wise's point, I think people on the set of the Cosby Show used to comment about Malcolm-Jamal Warner's maturity even at that age. And I think that's a result. He kept himself grounded and didn't get into the trouble of some of the child stars. So Malcolm-Jamal Warner, a musician in his own right. But now I will get into, and as you said, it's a tragedy. Way too young, such a tragic accident, and a fixture of my childhood as well, because I saw the Cosby Show mostly in reruns by the time I came of age, but it was still there. Because I'm 42, so I'm just a touch younger. But Ozzy Osbourne, I first learned about Ozzy Osbourne as a solo artist. I went back to Black Sabbath. I did it in reverse order. And the reason, Ryan, that I did not put a quote into my bottom line for one of my favorite Ozzy songs is because I did not want to put Mr. Crowley down there just with a bunch of O's, you know. I love Mr. Crowley. I love Randy Rhoads, also someone that died much too young. But Ozzy Osbourne, the thing that I've said long as a musician, somewhat musician, I don't play enough anymore. As Ozzy Osbourne, the one thing that I will give myself credit is I think my singing is my best asset when I decide to use it. Ozzy Osbourne has one of those voices that as soon as, and I know he became, when he did the MTV reality show, people made fun of the way Ozzy talked. They loved to do it. But even they would admit, as soon as Ozzy opened his mouth behind a microphone, you knew it was Ozzy. There was never any doubt. And his voice, for all the things that Ozzy put himself through, his voice never lost it. Even until a couple of weeks ago when he was at those final shows, he still had that voice. And to say nothing, he and Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler and Bill Ward, pioneers of an entire genre of music. Without Black Sabbath, metal would not exist as a music, whether you like it, whether you hate it. You have to admit, Black Sabbath is the reason that it's here. People try to argue that Led Zeppelin was one of the first metal bands. No, it was Black Sabbath, and it was that voice. I love the Black Sabbath iteration with Ronnie James Dio on vocals, but you had to admit it was a different band because it wasn't Ozzy. Ozzy had that voice. And he carved an amazing solo career for himself. And he has a whole festival, which he is the reason. He and the Osbournes are the reason that festival happened. And famously, he let his son Jack pick a lot of the bands that would play Ozfest. And Ozzy would often, and the Osbournes would often give opportunities to bands that were considered up and coming in the metal genre of music. It was a big opportunity. So Ozzy continued to push music forward. We've lost two titans, one an anchor of many people's childhoods and another an anchor of many people's childhoods in a different way. Both people, I think, identified with people, and it's just a sign that we're all getting older, gentlemen. I thought Ozzy would live forever.
Yeah, same.
For me, personally, like Ozzy came back right when he started doing a reality TV show, right?
Yeah.
Like for a younger generation to really get into starting to get to know Ozzy is because of the reality TV show that he had with his family. So that kind of resurrected his career and put him back into the spotlight. And like you said, it seemed like he was that guy that was going to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to be gone, it's a shame. But Ozzy lived. I'm sure he lived his life to the fullest. So
He did.
That he did. That's for sure. And I guess for me, on a personal note, because he passed away from Parkinson's. And I have my dad has Parkinson's, so it hits me a little bit harder, because knowing what Ozzy had and what my dad has, this death hits a little harder for me.
Yeah.
And I love his music, and as a teenager, we weren't, as kids growing up in the church, we weren't allowed to listen to Ozzy and a lot of heavy metal bands because of the Satanic Panic.
Oh yeah,
turned out to be complete bullcrap. Partially because if you listen to a lot of Metallica, a lot of Metallica is based off of James Hetfield's trauma growing up in a cult. And Oz, I don't know if you guys know about this about Ozzy. Yeah, he puts on this gothic, kind of satanic look, or the Prince of Darkness. But
yes.
Like before, he was a member of the Church of England, and he didn't speak about his faith a whole lot. But he said in an interview back with the New York Times in 1992, he said, "Yeah, before I go on stage, I pray. Before I go on stage at a concert, I pray. I pray to God. I've asked him to bless my voice and bless me, bless our show. Even though you did all that stuff, all that wild and crazy stuff, back in the day with the, getting in trouble with biting the head off a bat and all these other shenanigans, but
yeah,
which made him a legend in the rock and roll world. But yeah, he's going to be missed, and it's a shame that if I were to be asked to go to an Ozzy Osbourne concert, I would have gone in a minute. And I was listening to a playlist on the YouTubes this afternoon after I heard he passed on. I started listening to a playlist, and my favorite, again, it's the fourth song that comes up, and my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song, "Shot in the Dark." It came up, and I'm like, yeah.
That's a great one. And Bark at the Moon, Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train. I mean, you got so many.
Mama, I'm Coming Home, No More Tears.
Yes. That bass line on No More Tears, man.
Yeah. There's another one I listened to today. I haven't heard in a long time. Perry Mason. Yep. Let me see what else. Which other one did I hear today? I haven't heard in a long time.
I'm gonna throw out "I Just Want You." Not a lot of people like that one, but I liked one lyric in there.
Road to Nowhere. That's why.
Oh, Road to Nowhere. That's a good one.
And I heard "Ordinary Man," him and Elton John today. It's funny. This playlist has "Road to Nowhere" and "Ordinary Man," which talks about his life on the road and rock and roll music, and the song. There's another song that you mentioned. I forgot what it was. See you on the other side. That came up in the list, which was fitting, which is so fitting for today. But yeah,
and then the song he did with Lita Ford, I think it was "If I Close My Eyes Forever."
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, that's a classic too. But yeah, Ozzy and Malcolm-Jamal were. We're gonna miss you. But your memories live on in your music and your movies and your spots on television and all that.
Yeah, maybe Malcolm can lay down some bass for Ozzy up there. Get some of the vote.
There you go. Yeah, look, Ozzy Osbourne, Brian Wilson, Neil Peart, Malcolm-Jamal. You got a band right there.
Yeah. We got some titans.
I mean, Neil Peart died a few years ago, but yeah, come on. Yeah. Neil Peart, one of the arguably the greatest drummer in rock and roll ever.
Yeah.
With Rush. But yeah, I mean, there's your band right there in heaven. All right, we're going to wrap up our show with our favorite athletes to wear, number 54, because this is the 54th episode of No Credentials Required in the year of our Lord 2025. And we've had some really good athletes in our list. Some of them, again, Wise, here's the rules. I don't know if you've been following along with us. So what we're doing is that we're giving our favorite athletes to where the number corresponding with the episode, not the greatest player ever, but our favorite athletes that we've watched in our lifetime and during sports.
I got mine.
You got yours 54? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'll have you lead off then. Who's your favorite?
Brian or Laka?
Oh man, that's a good pick.
Solid pick. Why Brian Urlacher?
One of the best linebackers ever played the game, man.
True.
He played it right way. He I'm always gonna remember him for just being one of the best play. Like, he was all over, man. He stopped the run, he passed, he reversed the pass. He did it all, man. He was to me, these are my three favorite linebackers, and of course, the great one, LT, Ray Lewis, and I would have to add Brian Urlacher up to that group.
Okay. Solid list. That's a solid pick too for 54. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin. You pretty much given yours away, but
I have, and you got to get the button, the Homer alert button, Ryan. I'm sorry, 2 shows in a row.
here it is, Homer alert.
All right. Much like Wise said with Brian Urlacher, many of the same things apply to my favorite number 54. He's still active, though. He plays for the Washington Commanders right now because Dan Quinn said, hey, go get him. 54, you knew this was one of the ones predictable. Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is a tackling machine. He was a key piece on that great Legion of Boom defense, and he outlasted all of them, and he's still playing. And even in his final year with the Seahawks before he went to the Commanders. So I should go into a little story. One of the final years, he went to the Rams one year and wore 45. We don't talk about that. The Seahawks should have never let him go. But there was talk that Bobby was losing a step. And he went to the Rams and promptly led the team in tackles. And so the Seahawks decided, hey, let's have a reunion. It's clear Bobby wants to come back. Bobby negotiates his own contracts, so you don't deal with an agent. You deal directly with Bobby. Bobby came back, and wouldn't you know it, he was mentoring rookies, and he was still at his advanced age one of the team leaders in tackles. Bobby can stop the run. He can keep up with any. He's a hard hitter. I think some people considered him undersized, but no way. Bobby Wagner is a man. I hope he continues to play. I hope he goes on to more greatness with the Commanders, but he's one of those ones that you just, similar to Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett kind of became one of the linchpins of the locker room on offense, especially transitioning from that Legion of Boom era into kind of the era after that in Seattle. Bobby Wagner was that identity on defense. He was the one people looked to set the tone. He was also, as I mentioned, mentoring rookies. He's still playing. There's that great clip of him. I think a former teammate says to him, he goes, you're getting old. I can't believe you're still doing this. And he goes, yeah, we just sent you home, though. He goes, I'm still playing. So I think that sums up old Bobby Wagner. And I'm glad he kind of had a reunion with Dan Quinn. If he had to leave Seattle, at least he gets to play for one of his old DCs. And he's still getting it done. And I predict he will get it done again and be a tackling machine in the NFL next year.
All right. So my number 54 is actually basketball related, not football related. Although I will say honorable mention begrudgingly because he's a Miami Dolphin, Zach Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Another outstanding linebacker in the 2000s. Absolutely outstanding linebacker. Tough to play against when you're a New York Jet. Although I believe he was on the field during the Monday Night Miracle back in 1999, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Zach Thomas, one of the best linebackers of in Dolphins history, but also
NFL, yeah,
in the NFL at that time too. But my favorite number 54 was from the Chicago Bulls out of Clemson University, number 54. And I'm sorry, Wise, I have to go with him. Horace Grant. Because I know Wise is a Knicks fan. And we're going to talk about and by the way, FYI, this kind of ties into what we're going to be doing the next couple Sundays, Dustin and I. We're going to take a break in August. But we're going to put some recordings in the can, and those recordings are going to be episodes 1 through 5 and 6 through 10 of The Last Dance. We're going to do a retrospective. We're going to do a retrospective review 5 years after the fact.
Hey,
hey, let's see if everything holds up. But anyway, but yeah, Horace Grant was in an era of the NBA that I loved watching because you had your shooting guard, you had your point guard, you had your small forward, but Horace Grant he basically was the heir apparent to Charles Oakley when Charles Oakley was with the Chicago Bulls. And a little smile on Wise's face when I mentioned Charles Oakley, because he later became a New York Knick, trade from the Chicago Bulls for Bill Cartwright. But back in those days, and you don't see this much anymore, which is why I don't watch much of the modern NBA. But Horace Grant was one of the nastiest power forwards in the game. Was an absolute monster on the boards, blocked shots. If you needed a powerful dunk to kind of get the crowd going, or just some nasty work in the paint, Horace Grant was that guy, and I was absolutely. We follow those Bulls teams in the 90s. My favorite team was the New Jersey Nets, where they belong, by the way, the New Jersey Nets. But we all followed the Bulls closely because of that dynasty. And Horace Grant, for the first iteration of that dynasty, the first three-peat, he was a key part of that team. Then he winds up signing with Orlando after Michael Jordan leaves the Bulls. He goes to Orlando as part of those early Shaq and Penny teams that absolutely whipped through everyone in that. And he was a key part of the veteran lineup. He's basically the veteran presence to kind of shore up those young guys like Shaq and Penny and Nick Anderson and Byron Scott and Brian Shaw. Brian
Shaw, yeah.
But he was like that magic elixir that they were missing. They went to the finals in 1995, got swept by Houston, was again was part of that Orlando Magic team. Then he goes to the Supersonics, to the Lakers, back with the Magic, and he ends his career in 2004 with the Los Angeles Lakers. But man, for my money's worth, if I were to assemble a team now, like if I were to come up with a basketball team now, like I would want a guy like Horace Grant who could play defensively, play down the paint, get those nasty points, rip down those rebounds when he needed it. So that's my 54 right there.
That's a great pick. A lot of great people wore 54.
Yeah, they did. All right, before we get out of here, I got some comments in the comments section. Desi give us the reason why she ran this afternoon from Birds, because she said she was pushing a stroller, so I couldn't run that fast, but the baby got a laugh out of it. She also mentions, and whenever we talk about our favorite athletes to wear a certain number, Desi's from Alabama. She's a Roll Tide girl.
Yeah.
She's always going to mention an Alabama athlete, and that's cool with that. So she says Dalvin Tomlinson is my favorite number 54. He was a high school wrestling champion before going to Alabama to play defensive line in 2012. Finished his career with 122 tackles and 4 sacks. Was drafted by the New York Giants in 2017 in the second round. There you go, Wise. Also played with the Vikings, the Browns, and is currently playing nose tackle on the Arizona Cardinals. He has 342 tackles from the nose tackle position in the NFL. So there you go.
All right. Bringing the knowledge, as always, that Bama knowledge. I am impressed. If you get through all the numbers, I don't know, we might have to get you a shirt or something.
I'll have to create like an Alabama colored no credentials required.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But in the meantime, we're gonna get out of here. Before we get out of here, though, I want to give Wize the floor. Let him tell you what he's doing these days. So, Wize, you have the floor, my friend.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you guys giving me the time to come on the show and do the review of you guys. But you can find me on all major platforms. Stuck in My Mind podcast. You can find me on YouTube, Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Real Wise TV YouTube channel. Check out my bookstore, books by at /realwisepublishing.com. Check it out. And yeah, that's about it right now.
All right, excellent. We appreciate you stopping by, Wize, and again, feel free to stop by anytime. Love to have you back on.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're going to get out of here as well. Just want to remind the folks at home before we get out of here to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. And also check out our podcasts and articles, including mine I just dropped today at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, the YouTube channel, and on Podbean. And also hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you get all those notifications about when we go live, when we have show announcements, and also when we have video clips that go up on our channel. Because this program today, this will be on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel sometime tomorrow. Desi says, before we get out of here, we love you, Wize. Thanks for a great show, guys. Thanks for joining us, Desi. We appreciate you. Well, we're going to get out of here. So thank you for joining us on No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports. We'll be back on Saturday morning for the Saturday brunch edition with Kevin Wilson, talk about all things baseball. Plus, in a week, on August 2nd, we'll have a special guest join you. We'll let you find out who that is in a week on Saturday. But for Wize, for Dustin, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll check you out on Saturday. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you on Saturday morning.
Good night, everybody.